I'm Drew Bedard, and this is Marketing That Works, a podcast about the tools, tips, and tactics that business owners and marketers need to wow their customers and grow their profits. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Marketing That Works podcast. Thanks for listening as always. Thanks for sharing the show. I really appreciate it. My friends who shared it this past week, check out that last episode if you're wondering how to get ahead on certain social platforms. Episode was titled, Do What the Platforms Want. This week, I wanted to talk about, I was listening to another podcast and it came from research. Late in 2020, Google came out with, Google and YouTube, obviously one company, Alphabet, whatever. They own Google and YouTube, and they follow similar tracks as far as how they rank. With Google, it's obviously page rank and search rankings. With YouTube, it's similar in a way because they're the second most powerful search engine in the world, but they're obviously ranking it based on video quality, video content, those sorts of things, obviously. But the research that came out are just looking at some of the algorithm changes at Google, and you can effectively say YouTube, is in late 2020, what is important to Google and YouTube. And I think that these are really important things for all website owners, YouTube channel owners, just in general that they need to know. So the first thing was, and I know, we talk about this all the time, but can't say it enough, and especially when the two most powerful search engines in the world reinforce it, it should mean more to you. And the first one is quality. So what Google is doing now is Google is looking not just at, backlinks and whether you have enough words. They're looking at the quality, which means how long do people spend on the page? Is this a fresh, new quality idea that you're bringing to the surface? So new reporting or a twist on something different. Is it really, and I know we use engagement all the time, but of course for Google and YouTube, YouTube's a little bit different. Obviously they're looking at likes and shares and comments, whereas Google's looking for really the quality on the page. So with your website today, and I've had to recently think about this, is that, from really lucky at work that we have really great writers and they're writing original, fresh content. And that does a lot for the site. It brings a lot of organic traffic to the site. But any friends that have asked, I've just said, your blog posts, just have to be higher quality. They have to be fresh. They have to be new thinking, new research. So maybe, and I think this is the number two, is versus quantity. So number one is quality. Number two is quantity, is that I think Google and YouTube are both looking at it as consistency matters, yes. And I talk about consistency all the time. You need to show up. You need to show up consistently. But Google and YouTube are ranking quality as a higher standard at this point. So the guys that were talking on the podcast were using an example of a YouTube channel, saying that yes, it's great if you want to put out 3 pieces, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon every day, or all those days, you're going to put out a new video. But sometimes you don't have the blood flowing to it that really makes it a high quality video. It's okay if you need to take that extra couple of days and wait on it. Now, if you take a month off or 2 months off, you're gonna miss the opportunity to up your quality score on YouTube and Google if you're not posting consistently. So I would say basically look at this inside of a week. It's better to post maybe once a week instead of 3 times a week if the once a week has a really quality post. So I think it's an important topic to face because Google changes all the time. But they continue to they're consistent in their changing of the algorithms to favor quality, to favor fresh content that keeps, with YouTube, they're looking at watch time, they're looking at satisfaction, likes, their shares, because that's saying this is a quality piece of content. Obviously, thumbnails and titles and those things are important, but they're looking at how people are enjoying the content, similar to what Google's looking for on your website. Are they enjoying it? Do they find it relevant and valuable? So I think those are two things that you can do kind of a check on both your website and your YouTube page today, is to say, is my content valuable to the person on the other end? And knowing that and putting that time in to care about it, even if it's, quality is subjective. Like, you could shoot a YouTube video on your iPhone, but if that video is really good and brings a lot of value to the person on the other side of the camera, that's fine. But just try to search, try to work for quality, and I think that you'll get more out of YouTube in 2021. You'll get more out of Google in 2021. So hope this quick tip's been valuable for you today, and we'll see you next time.